All right, everyone set? All right, let's
Go.
have some fun.
Peter on his mark. All right, we begin in 5, 4.
Three, two,
You ready? Always.
Today, these three players are after big bucks, but they'll have to avoid the whammy as they play the most exciting game of their lives. From Television City in Hollywood, it's time to press your luck.
Good to meet you, Samir Oliveros, director of The Luckiest Man in America. How did you come to this material?
Hey
This
Chris.
is unbelievable story. Unbelievable story.
Yeah, I actually like to think that it came to me. I usually go to Goodwills, and the thrift shops to look for film negatives and photos, just because those are really good inspirations for a character, when I'm writing. And then I found this VHS tape, and it was a taping of one episode of Pressure Luck. And I watched it and I was like, what is this? I've never seen this game show before. And then I started researching and found out about the Michael scandal. And I started looking for that movie, and there was no movie. So I decided to make it.
It's first of all, it's unbelievable that it's a true story. So, uh, how did you go about research of the real person, and how did you discover the scandal behind the scenes of just this amazing winning streak?
Right. So what we knew about the movie, well, about Michael, or the 42 minutes that you can find on YouTube, the two tapings.
Mhm.
And we were lucky that we were able to have Bill Carruthers Jr., who's the son of the creator of Pressure Luck, as our creative consultant. And he was the one that helped us with a lot of the information behind the scenes. So everything, the drama that happens in the control room, a lot of it came from his intel on the day.
Is it was it at the time the most anyone had ever won on a game show?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it stayed as a record for about 20 years.
Oh my god. Other things about it that really struck me were, 2 things I really wanna talk about. First up, the score is amazing. That it's so intentional. I really appreciate directors who understand how important the score is to the mood, the tone, everything. Where did you come up with that choice? How did you work with the composer? Where did that music come from? It's so perfect.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. There were two discussions that we had with John Carroll Kirby, who produced it. So the first one was obviously about the time and era, and the synths and arpeggios and all the stuff that was happening at the time in the music scene. So that was some of the stuff that you can hear in the game floor.
Mhm.
But then the other biggest one, and most importantly, was like the romantic motif that we hear throughout the movie. I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but um, when we spoke about that one, I kept referencing Piero Piccioni, who's an Italian composer that did a bunch of softcore porn movies in Italy in the 70s. And he had like a really good sensibility for yeah, like really romantic, jazzy compositions. And that's why I went to John, because I believe that he is like the contemporary version of Piero Piccioni. And he got it, and he just executed perfectly.
And it really accentuates the drama, especially behind the scenes of this escalation, not only of Michael's wins, he's constantly winning, but behind the scenes as the stakes increase, it's just timeless and perfect. Uh, Also the look of the film, the color design, the fashion, it wasn't obnoxious, like, where it stands out, it was of that era and, kinda reminds me of, old Kodachrome, like, film, like, home
Mhm.
movies. Like, it
Mhm.
had that vibe. How did you design the color and work with your cinematographer?
Yeah, so it was a combination of three things. It was production design,
Mhm.
costume design, and then cinematography. So those three departments were in constant conversations with Lulu, who was our production designer. We wanted to be extremely faithful to the actual game floor, and we knew that a lot of the color of the movie was going to come from that set.
Yeah.
And then that set, no pun intended, the color palette for the rest of the world, right? We knew that we had the red, oranges, and yellows coming from the game floor. So, and that was very warm. We wanted the opposite in the control room. So that's why the control room is blue and gray and serious, because those are the executives. And the same thing with wardrobe, right? So we wanted to have the warmer colors downstairs and the colder ones upstairs, and then have this character that comes in and out and that connects both worlds, which is Chuck. um and then with the cinematographer, we really also wanted to create that Kodachrome look, and but we also wanted it to feel like classic and not nostalgic. So we didn't go for like the washed, sometimes like 80s emulations go for like a different
Mhm.
style of it. We wanted to like be intent, like have an intention with the colors. And then the other big thing that we always spoke about were the taping for threes, like when we change aspect ratio.
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough that we found a 1983 tube camera, were that we used to shoot a lot of that. We weren't able to find three because they were shooting three cameras. So with the one that we shot, we used to recreate the look for the other two.
It's, really a remarkable story. How did you go about the casting? Paul is dead on. You got his hair, the beard, everything perfect, but it's a great ensemble of character actors. Walton Goggins, amazing. Like, they all work so well together. How did you collect such a great group of actors?
Yeah, it was a combination of a lot of things. So we had done a very extensive list of who our top choices would be for each role. We did want character actors for most of them. But then we were starting to send offers out, and then the SAG strike happened, and we were one of the very few independent productions that had a waiver, because we had no relationship with any studio and we were independently financed. So we were able to proceed and we were able to shoot in the middle of the strike. And that's when a lot of these people that had no work and didn't know when they were going to work again, just wanted to work on the movie. And that's when the big ensemble cast started assembling, and we just got really really lucky, that we were just at the starting line with the movie.
Great. Thank you for talking to me. I've got limited time, but one last quick question, Paul. Working with Paul Walter Hauser, he is. I've always admired him. He's so good and understated. Um, what was it like working with him? How did I'm just so he's so great.
Amazing. It was great. I got to discuss the character with him one day before we went to set. So I went to his house here in LA, and we spoke about Michael and how we were going to treat him like an onion. So we were going to be peeling layers slowly as we reached his emotional core. And he really responded to that. And then we spoke a lot about Paris, Texas, in the way that Travis works like that we see this guy that we don't understand very well. And then as the movie progresses, we start understanding his motivations and we start understanding his reasoning. And then once we spoke about that, I told him that the movie was structured in a way where we were going to be answering four questions: the what is he doing, how is he doing it, who really is the guy, and then why is he doing it. And
Mhm.
then that those were like our guiding questions to for Paul also to be able to perform the way that we were looking to reveal.
I love the film. I'd love to play the game. Samir, thank you so much for talking to me today.
Of course, no, thank you, Chris, for taking the time to do this.
Cool.